Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashwini and today we are going to see the 7th chapter of 2nd PUC Computer Science, that is classes and object. And this classes and object, those who want to learn object oriented programming other than 2nd PUC students, even those people can refer this particular video. So let us see what's there in this classes and object. So first we are going to see the introduction. Next we are going to see what is class, how to declare a class, that is nothing but syntax. We are going to see an example. We are going to see different objects of classes, how to write a class, how to use that in a program. All these things we are going to study in classes. In the same way, object also. We are going to see what is an object, how to declare an object, example for an object, how to use that particular object in a program. We are going to see the entire thing in this particular chapter. So let us move on to this. If you have not subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe my channel and click on the notification button for more videos. So the first is introduction. So we are going to see the introduction of classes and object. The concept of object-oriented programming began with the use of classes and object. So mainly the object-oriented programming is based on classes as well as objects. A class is a user-defined data types that combines data and functions. So this is what a class is, together in a single entity known as an object. So this is a class definition. Once again we are going to see a class is a user-defined data type. This is one more question also, remember that. User-defined data type that combines both data members and member function together in a single entity. Single entity is we are going to combine both data members and member function inside a class. That is what a class is. So this is the class definition. Again we are going to see one more similar kind of definition for class. You can use this also. A class is a description of a group of object which has similar characteristics. Characteristics is nothing but the data members, and behavior. Behavior is nothing but the member functions. So here we have data members and member function inside a class. In the same way we are defining a class with a different way. A class is this is one more way of defining a class. So with this definition, if you are easy with it, so go with this, or else go with this. And one more thing we have highlighted here, data members is nothing but the characteristics and member function is nothing but the behavior. So remember this, whatever the things I have highlighted in the red in this particular page, you need to remember that. So this is about what is class. So defining a class. So we defined a class. In this main slide we studied what is a class, and one more thing is a class is a user defined data types. That is the first thing you need to know. Next is class consists of both data members and member function. That is the next point. The next point is when you combine together in a single entity as an object, together it forms a class. So these 3 points you need to remember it. So next we are going to see. So in the next slide we have seen the terminologies in procedure programming language as well as object oriented programming language. We have different terminologies. Terminology is nothing but the terms used in the programming language. So this is the procedural programming language and this is a object oriented programming language. So here variables, you can see in C programming we use variable. In procedural programming language we are going to tell objects. in the place of variables we are going to use objects. Next is user defined data type. In procedural programming language, we used to use user defined data type as a term. In object oriented programming, we are going to use classes as an user defined data type. Next is structure members. So here instant variables we are going to tell. Next term is functions. In object oriented programming, we are going to use as method. We are going to use the term methods. Function call. In object oriented programming, we are going to use message passing. So this is the terms that you have to remember. The next one is, so we saw the terminologies of procedural as well as object oriented programming. So next we are going to see a class declaration is a process of naming a class, specifying a data members and member function that performs some operation of the class. So this is what a class is. So we are going to see n number of definition for class in this particular chapter. So remember this, all these different way of telling what is a class is very important. So each and every definition is giving some information for you about the class. So a class declaration is a process of naming a class. It is a process of naming a class, and we are going to specify a data members and member function, and these data members and member function are performing some operations on a class. So this is what a class is. And one more definition. A class definition gives the representation of an object of a class and a set of operations that can be performed on the particular object. So we are going to perform some operations on that particular object. So this is what a class is. So by this you came to know what is a class now. So next we are going to see the syntax. So let us see that. So here you can see how to declare a class. So first we are going to see the declaration of the class, then we are going to explain each and every terms there. So let us continue. Syntax for declaring a class. So how to declare a class, I am going to tell you. First you are going to give a user defined data type, that is class space class name you are going to give. So this is the first line that will never change. So class is a user defined data type. It is a keyword. Remember that. Class name is a name given to the program. Depending upon the program, you are going to give the class name. If it is an employee program, you are going to give class name as employee. If it is a student program, in class name you are going to give student. So depending upon the program, you are going to give the class name. So here itself I am explaining each and every term. Remember that. So next you can see access specifier. You have three access specifier here: private, protected and public. So in front of that we have data members and member function with the semicolon. So in front of protected you have data members semicolon and member function semicolon. And next is public. In front of that you have data members and a member function. So here you can see in each and every access specifier you have declared a data members and member function. So this is the rules. It's not like exactly you have to write the same way. You can use any of the term here, whatever the access specifier is there, you can use that in your classes. Either you can use private or protected or public, or you can use any combination with data members and member function. That is depending upon the program. Don't worry about that. Depending upon the program you are going to use this access specifier. Lastly you have opening with whatever the opening braces is there, that has to be closed here. So closing cover braces with the semicolon. This semicolon tells you that end of this particular class. So this is how you are going to declare a class. So class is a keyword, class name is a name given to the class. Inside the class you are going to declare all the data members and member function according to the access specifier. You are going to specify it. At the end you are going to close the braces with a semicolon, and this semicolon tells that end of the class. So next we are going to see the explanation. Here whatever I have explained previously, same thing it is given here. I'll just read out. The keyword class is used to declare a class. Class name indicate the name of the class. It is an identifier. So class name, I told you, if it is an employee program, employee is an identifier. So that is how it is, class name. Next, class body. So class body will be enclosed within the pair of flower braces, that is opening and closing flower braces, and whatever you need to declare, that has to be declared inside the flower braces. All the data members and member function should be declared inside the flower braces. Data which is declared inside the class is called the data members, and the function which is declared inside the class is called as member function. Next, data members are used to describe the properties or characteristics of an object, and member function is describing a set of operations that has to be performed on data members of a class. And remember this set of points, it is very important. So next we are going to see access specifier. Okay, access specifier we are going to see. Every data members of a class is specified by 3 levels of protection in order to hide the data and member function inside the class. And one more thing I wanted to tell, while telling, I am telling data as well as data member, and functions and member function both are same. Function means it is a member function, data means it is a data member. So here we are going to specify an access specifier. So first we are going to see definition of access specifier. Access specifier define scope of the data, or it control access of a data and function inside the class. So this is what an access specifier is. Access specifier is going to control the access of the data and member function inside the class. If it is public, you can use it anywhere in the program. If it is private, it has to be used within the set of rules. We are going to follow it. If it is a protected data members and member function, we can use only in particular block of the program. That is what an access specifier is. So there are 3 types of access specifier. One is private, protected and public. We are going to see in detail in the next slide. So this is what, remember these 3 points. These are the 3 types of access specifier. So next we are going to see in detail, we are going to explain. So private is nothing but when a data members is declared as private, it can be accessed only by the member function inside the class. So member functions inside the class, only those member function can access the data members. Next, when you see the program, you will come to know what is data members and member function. Remember this, only the member function inside the class can access the data members under private. So these members can be used only within the class. So within the class you can use this data members and member function. If no access specifier is mentioned, then by default the members are private. So remember, in the syntax you gave public, in front of public you mentioned data members and member function. Protected, in front of that data members and member function. So if you don't specify any of the access specifier, by default it is a private access specifier it is. So example is private int x. So x and y is private data members. So this is how you are going to declare, and this is 5-mark question. Once it is repeated, I'll just tell you in the end of the session. I'm going to tell all the questions that is repeated in this particular chapter from 2015 to 2020 question papers. Whatever the question repeated, totally 10 question papers are there, supplementary as well as main exam. I have listed out all the questions from the past 10 papers and I have listed out in the end of the program. Please see that. Next, protected. So when a data members is declared as protected, it can be accessed by the members function inside the class as well as friend function and functions of the derived class. So remember this, who can access the protected data members and member functions. So the member function inside the class, first point is inside the class protected data members can be accessed. Next is friend function can access the protected data type. Next is derived class. So derived classes can access the protected data members. These members cannot be used outside the class. So outside the class you cannot use these data members. If a program has only one class, then private and protected access are the same. So if the program has only one class, then private access specifier as well as protected access specifier behaves as same. So that is the protected. Next is public access specifier. In this, when a data members is declared as public, it can be accessed by any of the function inside or outside the class. So whichever the data members and member functions are declared under public access specifier, then those data members and member function can be used inside or outside the class. This is about the access specifier, and remember, note down the points whichever highlighted in the red color, please note down it. So next is example for a class. Here you are going to see an example. So here you can see a class. A class is a keyword and a user defined data type. So class space date. Date is a class name. Within the opening and closing flower braces, we have declared few data members and member functions. So this is the data members and this is the member function. Under private we have int data, that is date, int month, int year. All are an int data type. So all these variables whatever we have, variable is nothing but the objects. So object we are going to use it as a term. These are the variables in C programming. In object oriented programming we are going to use as object. If you don't understand, if you get confused with the terms, I am going to use only the if you confused with the terms, I am going to use as variable itself. So int date, month and year are declared under private, and remember, private data members can be used by derived classes, friend function as well as inside the class we can use. Public data members can be used anywhere in the program. So here under public access specifier we have declared two functions, input the data and display data. So these functions can be used anywhere in the program. Within the closing braces we have given semicolon. This semicolon tells that end of a class. This is about the example. So this question is repeated right from the first slide till now. Whatever you studied in the second PUC exam, they ask define class, give syntax, explain the syntax, or declare a syntax they'll ask. Then they'll ask an example. With an example, explain each and every term they tell. So these are the things from the first slide till now. Whatever we studied, you are going to write it for 5 marks. So this is about the example of a class. So next, try it. I'm going to give you a try it session where write a class whose class name is employee and declare the data members and member function. So this is the question I am going to give you. So previously you studied how to write a class. In the same way, like this, you need to write a class for this particular question. So please note down this question and please try it. It will be fun. Remaining topics we are going to see in the next class. If you like this video, please hit a like, share it with your friends, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.